Okay, I'll get started. Sorry guys, there's just issues with the stream. Had to reopen and restart again. But it's all good now, hopefully. And I'll get started now with today's daily outlook and market update. So let's get started with the dollar. I think dollar has moved quite a bit since the last update I had. So let's take a look and let's see how the dollar has been moving. So start with dollar index. As we can see that we're developing to more of a structure now. Last 2 days ago, I mentioned look for this kind of a descending channel to complete, and then look for that push to the upside. So we did have this push to the upside, looking very impulsively, looking really good. Uh, do like the rejection of this recent double bottom, and we have this longer kind of a bigger channel structure here. So what I want to see now in the upcoming days, can we get a correction here to push the price up, or are we just going to impulse up there and then forming a correction here? Either way, I'm more want to see a complete breakout and then correction outside the structure to give me that dollar strength that I'm looking for in the all upcoming dollar pairs as well. So that is really what I want to see in the upcoming days, and really expect that to really push the other dollar pairs into the direction I'm looking for. So let's go over really all the dollar pairs. I think all the dollar pairs had some move or it is in the process of developing into something better. So let's look at Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar overall, you see price broke out that structure, broke out this longer structure, and as always, I mentioned always look for a continuation if it's going to continue higher. Instead, we didn't get that continuation. We get a reversal structure. We get a ascending kind of channel formation, and we actually see price impulsively break down now. So we're breaking down into right back into this larger structure now, which is good because I'm going to look for potential sell opportunity now if we get a bigger structure, bigger continuation correction here, right back into the actual structure here and looking for more downside like this. So this trade will be probable if we get the correction here. That's how I see an Aussie dollar. Kiwi dollar. Kiwi dollar made a post yesterday. We're looking at the price at the higher time frame double top. This is the daily double top, looking very good price action wise. We're in this larger structure. Uh, Mentioned that I like these correction with the correction type of price action. At the very end, at the very latest, we're seeing a reversal structure similar like Aussie dollar. It's a reversal kind of channel, ascending channel structure. We're looking for a breakout from there. That is how I would expect the price to do. So for now, let it consolidate here a little bit longer if it's going to do that. Won't be interesting until I see a breakout and then followed by a continuation correction. That is what I see on Kiwi dollar. And because the price has been very consolidated since this whole time, and a couple of the other dollar pairs have actually moved already. So what we can tell from this type of price action is that the more that it consolidate or squeeze, the stronger this bearish impulse will happen. So don't miss that trade if it's going to impulse out, and then just look for that lower time frame correction. That is how I would see on Kiwi dollar. Euro dollar. Euro made a post yesterday or 2 days ago, looking for a just correction to take the trade long, to take the trade short. Sorry, we did get that. Let's go to lower time frame. This is my entry here. This is ascending type of channel formation. We had an impulse away from this channel, and I mentioned look for any type of lower time frame continuation. This to me is not that tangible. I think this is better as a first sign of a correctional structure. You can argue this is also a pretty good correctional structure as well. So we impulse down all the way from top. What to do now? Well, because we're getting close to the bottom of the structure, and if you notice previous price action, every time when price get to the lows, it usually does bounce up until we actually break out this structure alone. So I wouldn't be looking for a short now. I would be a little bit more patient to see if the price going to develop something a little bit more tangible, a little bit bigger continuation correction, and we can see a bearish push to the outside. If not, happy to move my stop and see kind of what the price will do in this area. Do expect price to ultimately break out of the structure. As we know, structure, they're ever evolving. This can hit the bottom like this and then bounce right back up for the next drop like this, making this structure overall still valid, still looking for the reversal. So that's euro dollar. So waiting for a bigger correction here, or waiting for the breakout and then waiting for a correction here would be always the safer one. Look at pound dollar really quick. Hey, how's it going, man? Nice for you to join. Yeah, so let's look at pound dollar. So pound dollar, very similar kind of price action. Top of this ascending channel, we're reaching that daily double top. We're moving up the price very correctively. So looking for a bearish push down and then looking for more continuation. So because we moved down already and we see a pretty sharp retrace, so I wouldn't be jumping in the trade now. This was a valid short as well. I personally didn't get in. I was in the euro dollar trade, so I'm not in the pound dollar. But wait for price to develop a little bit more structurally now, because we already pushed down pretty impulsively. Waiting for a bigger correction here would be more ideal for the continuation of the pound dollar. So moving on to dollar CAD. So dollar CAD made a post similar. If we zoom out a little bit, we're just correctively moving down in this kind of a parallel channel or descending channel, so to speak. And price has been very correctively moving down. So it's important to know that when price is moving down so much like this in a corrective fashion, you're always kind of waiting for the next reversal kind of push. So looking at the price action here, we have another descending channel on the lower time frame within the larger channel, which is good. We had a first kind of a bullish impulse from the lower time frame, which is also a good signal or good indication that we might see more bullish opportunity. I do see this inverse head and shoulder pattern as well. So ultimately, is this going to be the continuation correction to push the price up outside of that larger structure, and then we can see more upside for dollar CAD. For now, happy to just kind of wait to see what will happen in this general area. It's forming kind of a kind of an expanding type of structure now. So be a little bit more patient. Do want to see a breakout from that at least, and then look for more continuation up to the recent tops. So that's dollar CAD. Let's move on to dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss, same idea, very similar like dollar index. If you guys recall last outlooks or the previous one I mentioned, every time when price, every time when price is in a kind of a descending channel, look for kind of a reversal to the upside, right? We see this descending channel, we see this descending channel, and then 2 days ago I mentioned this descending channel can also lead to the bullish push. So we do see all these bullish push right off that descending channel, right? So it's very similar like dollar CAD I just went over. And this is actually very clean because as you know, I like to wait for the breakout. So this is a clear breakout from this larger structure and waiting for a confirmation here. It looks very clean that the price is consolidating here, which is also adding good confluence that the price is consolidating and building up momentum for the next push up. So I probably want to see during this Asian session, let the price correct itself for a little bit longer, a couple more hours. And then during the London session would be very good for taking a long trade up. Singapore dollar. Last week I also mentioned that when price is here and waiting for a bullish push up and then waiting for some sort of correction to indicate the strength to go up. We didn't get that. However, we did push down once more and forming a reversal kind of structure, which is good because overall larger higher time frame, we're in this larger kind of a descending channel once again. Price is at the bottom, and then we do have a small bullish push to the upside. For this one, I would wait a little bit more clarity, wait for price to push up out of the structure here, and then wait for the buy here. All right, so that's dollar Singapore dollar. So that is kind of all the dollars that I'm looking at for this upcoming 24, 48 hours. I think most of them are looking pretty good for a continuation of the dollar strength, and we can expect a little bit more push from them if they break out of their kind of corrective structures. So let's move on to Aussie Kiwi because I remember I made an update on this. I recall last outlook when price is over here. I thought this will be the all correction to correction this move, and we're going down from here. And when it's forming this double bottom, kind of reason double bottom, I mentioned that wait for a little bit pull up, wait for another pull up to the top here, and then wait for some sort of sell opportunity. So it's good that price is doing that now. We're seeing this breakdown pretty impulsively, and because we're about halfway through this correction already and we've moved down quite a bit, I actually would wait for a little bit more tangible correction now. If you're not in the trade, I would wait a little bit more patient, wait for a little bit bigger continuation correction down to the low. You're still going to get pretty good risk reward like this. And I do expect this down move to happen very oftenly as well. So don't just jump into the trade like this. It might pull back a little bit deeper. Aussie Kiwi, as you know, it's usually corrective. You'll see a lot of these corrective nature kind of price action, but you're still going to get that impulse after the correction. So waiting for the bigger correction is going to be always the safer side to go. Let's go over a few yen pairs. Do you have a lot of yen pairs on watch or on spoken of? And looking at Aussie yen, remember I mentioned wait for a breakout from this correctional structure, and then waiting for a correction to go. Okay, so this was a correction and looking pretty decent. And then if you're in the trade, probably move to stop loss to break even. So this probably take out for a break even. I do like the breakout still. I do like that we can see more continuation if we get a little bit more continuation structure, and then to push the price lower. So that's what I see on Aussie yen. Let's go to CAD yen. CAD yen, we had the bearish push down, and then we're just forming kind of a ascending kind of channel formation. Price is a little bit more corrective. So waiting still for the breakout, waiting for the correction, still a way to go. We're still in this this kind of a structure here, so don't expect the price to just shoot out right away. Wait for this breakout, and then wait for this trade will be the longer confirmation, because we're still at the very top of the structure here. If we get a breakout, I do expect this price to continue to go lower. Similar like this trade, when prices in this structure here, dimension did able to break down like this, but now it's just expanding into a larger structure. But always looking very good for risk reward and probability wise when we are at the top of the structure and you just have so much room for the downside. So that is what I see on CAD yen. Let's go to Euro yen. So Euro yen, this is a missed trade for me. I personally didn't catch this, but when I look back at it, I do think this was a probable sell. So we can tell that we have a reason, kind of a double top or triple top, so to speak, on the intraday charts. And moving down to the lower time frame, do have kind of a reversal type of structure. We have the first bearish impulse down to the lows, breaking below this correctional structure, and we're forming a continuation here. I do think this was a valid sell. Personally didn't get that. Personally was already in euro dollar, so and wasn't on the chart at this time. I do think this is a good sell, and moving the stop to break even is ideal. And then seeing the price correctly pushing up now, you can expect this push down. And I won't just jump into the sell now. I would actually wait, again, breaking out of that correction, waiting for a breakout out of this larger structure here on the 4 hour, and then lower time frame correction is always going to be the best ideal trade. Let's move on to pound dollar. So pound dollar, same thing. Last outlook I mentioned, wait for a breakout from this correction. We did have the breakout. This could be classified as a correction. It's a little bit messy, but nevertheless, if someone was in this trade, likely to just hit break even or a little bit of loss. Even though I still think this is pretty looking good for the downside, we're still in this overall breakout. We didn't see any bullish kind of a price action yet. So looking for more downside, we're just wanting to see what the price action will do this point forward. Are we going to get more kind of a structure to form here and then push the price down? Ultimately, I still think a complete breakout from this structure overall, and then waiting for more correction structure to push down price would be much more safer in my sense, because price can easily just move up and down in this area and then still go down afterwards. Because once we broke out of this channel structure or parallel channel structure, you're just looking at potential, all this kind of room to the downside. It's not going to go in one straight line, but you're always going to catch a lot of correctional structure to push the price down. So there's a lot of entry opportunity, in my opinion, for this move to the downside. So it's okay to let the price go a little bit, and then waiting for the best setup would be the most ideal trade. Okay, let's go to EURUSD. EURUSD, someone asked me for update. Really not much to update you because we're still in this overall larger structure. And last outlook I mentioned, the best ideal again is just to wait for that breakout and then wait for that correction to go in. Right now it's consolidating here a little bit, and you could argue that if it consolidate a little bit longer, and this could be a correction for the sell. I do agree with that. However, because we're consolidating right above the structure, right above this, in general, the bottom of the structure, I would just be a little bit more careful because I have seen many times where it forms a continuation correction. It looks very solid, and then we just end up pushing the price back up to the top, and then still drop, and then making the structure still valid. It's just that the price wasn't ready for that drop yet. So if I was taking this, if I was looking for it, I'm still thinking a breakout and then correctional structure, because we zoom out a little bit, we're still looking pretty solid for the next move down. We already had a strong bearish push to the downside, and we have a very clean continuation structure on the higher time frame. So whether it breaks now or it comes out to the top and breaks out from here again, to me, it doesn't matter. I'm just looking for the next kind of move down like this. So that's what I see on Euro Aussie. Last one, let's go to CAD Swiss. Where am I from? I'm from Canada. I'm from Vancouver, Canada. That's where I am. CAD Swiss. So CAD Swiss. Last outlook I mentioned, wait for the price to go to the top of this structure, and then kind of see what the price will do. We did moving up very correctively in this kind of ascending kind of channel formation. I do think a breakout and then lower time frame correction would be very ideal, at least to the lows of this or lows of this structure. I think this move is very likely to happen if we get a clear breakout here. For now, happy to be on the sideline, happy to see what the price will do. If we zoom out a little bit, we have continuation already, right? We have the bearish impulse, continuation correction, another bearish impulse, another continuation correction, and ultimately looking for the breakout from here and then to the lows here. That's what I see on CAD Swiss. Okay, so that is all the currency pairs I'm looking at, unless anyone has anything you want me to look at, and I'll jump into commodities really quick. For the breakout. Which pair is favorable right now? Well, I'm in one trade right now. I'm in euro dollar, so I'm in euro dollar. So I do think euro dollar is looking pretty good. I think all the dollars pair looking actually pretty good. It's just that I'm not gonna trade all the dollar. I'm usually only gonna trade one, and I'll pick the best one kind of to go. So I think euro dollar is looking good. If it forms correction here, would be nice to go for the breakout. But if it continue going down and then a bigger correction to form here, I would definitely scale into this short. I'll add into more short position and looking for more downside. So that's what I see on euro dollar, my favorite pair, so to speak. However, I do see Kiwi dollar looking just as good. Like I said, it's consolidating here while a couple dollar pair already moved. So if we see a strong breakout, I think any lower time frame continuation correction will push this price out pretty fast and pretty impulsively, to be honest. I'll see something like this. This is pretty impulsively and pretty fast. I expect price action wise, I expect a push down just as fast if we get the breakout and if we get the enough momentum from this area. Because overall, the structure is potentially complete. We're at this kind of the top of the structure now, and then reversal structure from the top, looking very clean for the next down move. Okay, so let's jump to commodities. Natural gas. Someone asked me to update natural gas. So natural gas, I have been saying that we're the next potential things you should look out for is that double top for the daily. Haven't reached that, which is good, and it is forming a deeper kind of a correction now. I do agree that we have impulsed pretty hard already, pretty fast and pretty impulsively. do expect a deeper correction to form if it's going to continue upwards. Be also careful that this can be some sort of a channel structure that it's also creating, okay, going something like this, and then that price is slowly breaking out. But in terms of momentum-wise, I do like what I'm seeing here. We just continue getting a lot of impulse correction, and then we're waiting for this larger correction to develop, and then you could potentially look for the next upside. Something like this, something's a little bit longer, and it's a little bit more structurally, and then looking for the next buy. That is what I see on natural gas. Sugar update. So sugar, not much has moved since my last update. I'm still looking for this correction to finish. So we're looking to buy from here already. We broke out this larger structure, and we've impulsed up, but we're forming this kind of, I guess you can call this a descending kind of channel, or you want to call it falling wedge, whatever it is. It is a corrective structure. It is a continuation. So how I would approach this, again, waiting for the breakout and then waiting for that correction on the lower time frame would be always the ideal trade to go. And target, still nothing changes. Still looking for this top before the COVID drop as the target. And we already moved quite a bit already, so expect this kind of move to continue, and then it might take a few more months to do that. So that is sugar. Let's go to oil. Someone asked me to do an oil update, and because I haven't traded oil for a long time, ever since this drop. Obviously, I think everyone saw this. Haven't touched oil since that drop. Happy to do an update though. So how I see oil. I like how we're in this overall kind of parallel channel. Okay, price has been kind of moving up and down very correctively. I think this is pretty corrective kind of a price action pattern. And for me, I'm not personally into any long. I'm not into long at all. I'm only looking this as a potential short. We're in this kind of a potential reversal structure on the higher time frame. Price has indeed recovered from that, drop to the zero. We had bullish impulse correction, bullish impulse correction, impulse, and then no more correction. We're just forming this larger neutral kind of a correction structure. For me personally, I like how the price action has been this kind of a channel structure as well within the larger channel structure. We do see a lower time frame kind of a bearish impulse. This is pretty impulsively. Can we continue break out of that structure? And then if it does, I'm only interested for this lower time frame continuation and to push the price down lower. That is kind of how I see on oil. If not, I'm happy to let the trade continue, let the price continue just consolidating this channel. Won't be interesting until I see some sort of confirmation. That is what I see on oil. Let's go through silver and gold. I think I still get a lot of people asking me about them, so happy to update them as we go. So still looking silver as bearish move. We still see this as the bearish impulse, doesn't change. And we're just in this larger continuation correction. Nothing has changed. Price has been respectively in this kind of area. Nothing. We have the latest price action. We had this kind of ascending channel formation. We just broke the recent double top, and then we priced impulse down pretty strongly. So how I approach this? Well, not interesting here. Obviously, ultimately, I'm still looking for a sell. I do want to see price break out though, because it might likely to hit here and then continue going upwards. And still making this structurally still a larger continuation structure. So same thing with a lot of other ones I went over. Waiting for a breakout is always going to be the safest one, because like I said, we could consolidate here a little bit longer and then push the price up once more, similar kind of price action, and then still drop down from there. So I don't want to get taken off on this kind of nonsense. So that's silver. Gold, very identical, very similar. This is the bearish push. This was a correctional structure. We had to push down, and then we're just forming this larger kind of expanding correction. Price is still in here, and latest price action, as you see, left shoulder head, and then right shoulder correction, bearish impulse, correctional structure. We're pushing the price down now. So can we continue? Can we form another correction here to push the price down and then to the lows here? I do think it's very probable, but personally, I won't just jump into here now. It's about midway through this overall correction. If this was the trade that I was looking to enter, I would enter something like this. I was already in the dollar trade, so I'm not looking into here. But I do think because we're in the middle now, so it might likely to form something deeper before it drops. So if you don't have a good stop loss there, you might get taken out. So that is gold. Okay, that is gold. Any other ones that you guys want me to look at? Any commodity you have unwatched that you want me to look at? If not, I'll go into equity. Can I go over oil again? Yeah, I can go over oil. So oil, as I was saying, not interesting. Sorry, just let me take all this out. Yeah, so oil, not interested in the buy. That's what I was saying in the beginning. Not interested in the buy in oil. Only interested in the sell because structurally speaking, we're in this longer kind of a parallel kind of channel structure, and price has been consolidating, moving up and down, and we do have this latest kind of a parallel channel, and we do see price breakout. So I will only be interested if I see a breakout and then continuation correction here to push the price lower. Otherwise, I'm happy to be on the sideline. Happy to see what the price will do in this correctional structure before the move. If we zoom on the daily, this is the daily kind of that channel I drew on the intraday charts. It's not quite clear on what it will do. What I do see is just a breakout from here and then maybe a continuation upwards. But I haven't seen enough kind of price action to determine that. So happy to be on the sideline, like I said, until I see a confirmation from the market. That is what I see on oil. So let's jump to equity. I'll go over a few indices and to go over a few indices just to see what everyone's looking. China 50, not much have moved. I mentioned this was the bearish impulse. This could be a continuation correction. Looking for the next impulse. So waiting to see what the price will do here. Is it going to break out and then continuation out of that structure to go down lower? Looking to see if going to develop something here. So far, this is a little bit ugly on terms of price action, so not interesting until a little bit more development there. Nifty last time I mentioned if it broke out, wait for a correction if it's going to continue lower. If we go down to the lower time frame, we really didn't get that any continuation. Instead, we see a bullish reversal, and now it looks to me that it's going to continue upwards. So this is why waiting for that confirmation is super important, guys. Price can break out any structure, any lines or whatever, but if there's no structurally to back up, then don't enter the trade blindly like that. So how would I take this now? Just like what I mentioned last time, I would rather wait for the price to continue upwards, hitting this previous top, and then looking for a potential sell opportunity from the top here. That is what I see on Nifty. NASDAQ still correctively moving up in this ascending channel within this larger kind of a channel structure. Still not interesting, like I said, until I see a confirmation breakout and then correction to go lower. It had a potential breakdown from here, but again, no continuation correction here on the lower time frame or any other structurally. So happy to just again wait for the price to develop a little bit more and wait for the next potential sell. S&P 500 actually broke up a little bit more. Price action wise, we're still in this kind of a structure formation. It can break up a little bit more, but I'm only interested if we see a bearish impulse down and then a correction to push down. Otherwise, no trade for me. Happy to be on the sideline, happy to be wrong, so to speak. Happy to be wrong on my forecast as long as I'm not executing the trade, right? Some of the people have asked me about how do you deal with your forecast being wrong. I actually tell them that it's fine, right? It's fine to have your forecast being wrong because that's why you make forecasts. As long as when you enter the trade, you don't want to be wrong all the time. Right? There's a difference. I can make a lot of forecasts. I'm making forecasts every day on a lot of pairs. And the forecast point is I'm forecasting the market. I want to see certain thing to happen. I want to see certain correction to develop. Then I will potentially consider enter a trade. If I don't see that, there's no trade, and I'm happy to be wrong if the price continue going higher because I know that I didn't enter a sell position where the price is going up. I'm happy to accept that in my mind, happy to move on to other pairs, other currency pairs, or other market I'm looking at that the forecast played out, and I'm going to look for execution in it. That is how I deal with it. There's no ego, there's no right and wrong in that sense. Happy to be wrong, right? Happy to be wrong in my forecast, and then happy to be right in my trade. Okay, so let's move on to this is Dow Jones. So Dow Jones, remember last outlook I was mentioning, this could be developing into a continuation kind of structure or reversal structure depending on what the price will do. This looks like a more reversal structure to me, even though price is impulsively moving up. And we're approaching this kind of a daily previous top now. We're very close to this daily top before the COVID drop. So wouldn't be too interesting unless I really see that strong impulse down and then breaking out of this correction. And then I will be looking for some sort of sell here to the lows. If I don't get that, happy to happy to see the price continue to climb up to this double top, and then like again look for the bearish impulse down. It's never going to be a long trade, looking for a short-term bearish move and see how the price will react in this structure here, and then reevaluate if we got to break out from this structure to move down price lower. But until we see that, until I see that confirmation from the market, again, happy to just be on the sideline, just waiting for the right price action to develop. VIX, update VIX last time, so I thought update VIX again. Not much has changed. This was a potential continuation correction. Price is not moving too much here. That's why I said 2 days ago, I mentioned wait for a little bit more bullish push to the upside and then wait for the buy like this. Still looking for the previous top as a potential target, and still looking pretty good structurally. Still getting kind of a similar structure over like this. So do expect price to continue to move up if we get the right price action here. So let's go over a few equities that I have on watch. So let's go over a few really quickly. Not much has moved, so I'm just gonna browse through them really quick. AAL, American Airline, still consolidating here. Could be forming a continuation correction here to push the upside. So pretty keen to see what the price will do in the upcoming days. Apple, yeah, Apple. Remember last time when someone asked me what do I see after the split? I said, yeah, don't jump in the trade. Don't just jump in any buys right after, because we already imposed so much high, so much to the upside. There's really no real or bigger correctional structures. I actually would wait for something a little bit deeper before considering the next buy. I do want to wait for something that's we haven't seen any kind of continuation, except this could be a continuation here. But since the COVID drop, price has just been shooting to the upside. We haven't seen anything that's a little bit more tangible. I'm happy to let this one go if it goes up, but I think the safer side would be waiting for the actual correction to form here. This to me probably is not enough correction for this move to continue. So waiting for a bigger one would be the ideal one. Aurora, still in this overall channel structure, still didn't see a breakout, had a breakout here, no continuation. So happy to still wait for this one to develop. Boeing, I'm still in Boeing. So Boeing, this was my buy. This was my buy from here. We did see the price push up, and now it's just forming potential continuation. Very similar like AAL. Obviously, they're almost correlated in some sense. So looking for a breakout like this. Still my eye from here. Still looking for the top as the potential target, and see what happens in the upcoming weeks and months. Baba. This was a correctional structure here. I mentioned this wasn't enough from this move out to break out from this structure here, and now we're forming a larger kind of correction here, so which is good. If you enter this buy, I think it is a valid buy. So just see what the price will do then. Very probable for the price to continue up. We already had this larger correctional structure. We had this kind of a lower time frame correction to push the price up, so I do expect price to continue upwards. Let's look at Google. Google had moved. Yeah, I made a post here. This was continuation structure here, and price continued to move up. So I do see this is good. you want to get in the trade, then wait for the next correction. Wait for the next correction, something like this, potentially push the price up. Coca-Cola. Yeah, someone asked me about Coca-Cola. Already reached the top, right? Remember I said buy Coca-Cola when it's at the bottom and then reevaluate when it's at the top. So we do hit the top now, which is good. And we're at the very top of the structure now. So be a little bit careful. We did impulse up, which is good. But waiting for a correction here to continue would be ideal. Otherwise, you can easily see price consolidate here, forming some sort of reversal on the lower time frame and move down once more to the bottom of the structure before the next buy. So be careful if you're in Coke. Move your stop accordingly, and then see what price would do in this area. NASDAQ, same thing, same update, right? We already broke the all-time top. We're at the top now, so we already broke above it. And if we get a correction here, I will be in this buy. That's how I see it. Nike move, yeah. Nike, my buy is still here, still looking pretty good, pretty solid. I thought this needs a little bit more correction. Remember last outlook as mentioned, probably want to see a bigger kind of correction. But instead, this is all the correction need. Price continue to go up. So won't just jump in the trade once going. We already impulse up now. So let it impulse up more and then wait for another correction. Wait for the same kind of size like this, same size like this, and then get into a trade. Pepsi, very similar like Coca-Cola, made a post here for the buy. We broke out this structure and then we formed a larger kind of structure here on the lower time frame and we continue to go up. So do expect price to continue to push up higher, at least to that previous top here before the drop. So that is Pepsi. Let's go over a few other ones. Tesla, sure. So Tesla and Apple were the ones that always been asked. So this is what I see on Tesla. Same thing as Apple. When I was in this buy, I told everyone, when I see a larger structure like this after impulse, I'm always going to be in the buy. So I'm always going to be in the buy after, right? After the price break out this continuation correction. You always want to wait for a confirmation and you wait for a breakout from here. So we already impulse up so high. We already impulse up quite a bit. And this is between that when they had the stock split, whatever, right? And I told the people who asked me, don't just jump in the trade because it's likely to form a deeper correction now after we move so much. Okay, so the best ideal thing is to just wait for it to consolidate a little bit longer. Okay, I want to see something like this. Okay, even if it doesn't get something like this, get something like this at least, right? Some sort of correction, some sort of structure to give you confirmation that this impulsive move is going to correct itself and we're going to get the next move. Okay, otherwise just don't jump in the trade like that because people who jump in the trade like this, they usually hit their stop loss like that, right? So waiting for a correction, waiting for a larger correction to build, waiting for a larger structure to build, and then waiting for the breakout, and then waiting for the lower time frame continuation, just like here, just like my trade here. It's always going to be the best trade, safest trade, and the less risky trade. Okay, so that's Tesla. Uber already almost hit the top. I made a post here. This was correction to go up. We go up already. So like what I said last time, be a little bit careful on this potential reason double top that can happen. There can be a reason double top here, or it can start forming some sort of reversal structure and then reversal from the bottom like this. Okay, so what I want to see is exactly like most of the things. Breakout for this structure, confirmation breakout from here, and then look for the upside like this. Okay, that's Uber. Visa updates. Visa update, same thing as MasterCard. We already hit the all-time top now. So again, it's pretty much similar price action like MasterCard. Wait for a correction here to buy. I will be in this buy. I will choose this one or Visa. They're pretty much identical price action. We had an impulse. We had a continuation correction. We had another impulse. So looking for the buy would be always ideal. Looking for a correction here to form would be the best buy here. That's it. What's more developed structure look like? It depends on which time frame you're looking at. So if I'm looking at Visa, this on a higher time frame is a developed structure. Okay. And if this is on higher time frame, but if you go down to, let's say 15 minutes, for example, So 15 minutes, right? If I'm looking for a structure, this is potentially a structure on a 15-minute, like a descending channel to push the price up like this. So it really matters is what time frame you're looking at. The larger the time frame, obviously, the bigger the structure you need to look at, right? So for example, Tesla, like because when you see an impulsive move like this, you want to see a larger structure like this before the next move up. You don't want to see after a move like this, and then you expect something like this, and then the price will continue out. It usually doesn't. You see how it already pushed up like this so much already. Probably in somewhere here or here, there is correction to go up, but I'm looking for a larger, deeper structure to build. Okay. Zoom, yeah, update on Zoom. Well, I made a post here on Zoom. I actually didn't get into this trade, but surprisingly, it shoots up to the upside now, right? I didn't get into the Zoom trade. I didn't capture this correction here, but price actually impulse up, right? There's gap in here. For now, what I do, well, like I said, it's just same as Tesla and Apple. Don't just jump in here now, because it impulsed so high already, so impulsively. Then look for a correction here would be the most ideal one. Looking for something like this would be the ideal trade for me to go next. If you zoom out again, this is something that's considered very developed, right? Don't just looking for something like this instead of going looking for more development. It would be more ideal. Yeah, so that's Zoom. Amazon. Amazon looking pretty still upside, right? This was a potential correction. I was looking at this. I wanted to see. This is to answer your question about developed structure. I wanted to see one more drop like this from here before the buy. This would be more of developed structure than what I'm seeing right here. But sometimes price and market doesn't go with what you want, or it doesn't go with what people expect, right? So that is how trading is. So I didn't catch this trade, but I was looking at this trade for the upside. So if you're not in this trade, then again, looking for a little bit of correction here, because this is impulsive already. So during an impulsive move, you can look for a lower time frame correction for the buy. That is how I would approach this. But my approach, if I want to see the price drop down once more, I will be buying here. It will be a more safer trade to buy. That's Amazon, WMT, Walmart, right? Walmart. Yeah, I remember I was looking at this. That's why I had these lines here. Yeah, I was actually looking for a potential buy here. I didn't get in this, but I was looking at this as a structure, as this is the impulsive move, this is a correction, and this is another impulse, and we're getting another correction. And I was looking for a buy here. I forgot why I didn't get in, but I didn't get in. I didn't get in, but price shoot up, which is good. Which is good. I do like, I think higher time frame. Let me just zoom out. Yeah, higher time frame. Yeah, we're at the all-time top now, right? There's no previous top or anything like that, which is good. Uh, we impulse up now, okay, on the lower time frame. Again, I won't jump in the trade now because this already moved. This was a correction that already happened. So if you're not in this correction, you're not going to jump in here now. We already impulse up pretty impulsively. So again, waiting for a correction here would be more ideal. Okay, this is also a correction. There's gapping, yes, but this is a correction nevertheless. I would wait for another correction here to the buy. So that's Walmart. Any other equities you guys want me to look at? Otherwise, I'll go into crypto really quick. Okay, let's go to crypto. Let's go to crypto really quick. Actually has a bunch of bearish move, to be honest. So I'll update a few that are still looking potentially upside. Okay, so Acro, made a post on Acro here, but I thought this would be the impulse up, and I was waiting for some sort of correction here. Actually, this doesn't seem like a correction to me, so that's why I didn't enter anything. Price still continued to go up, which is good. If we zoom out a little bit on the higher time frame, we're already impulse up, and there's no really previous top to hit. So be a little bit more careful. I want to see price continue going up because this is a little bit volatile to me. I want to see a little bit push up and then look for more continuation. Otherwise, happy to stay out from ACRO. Algro correction, we pushed the price up. We're just forming a larger, deeper correction. Nothing still changed. We did have some bearish push to the downside. Adjust my structure. Structurally, we're still in this kind of parallel channel. So still could be looking for a potential up move from here. But happy to again wait for a little bit more develop to see, and then push the price up like this. So that's Algro. Bitcoin Cash, excuse me. Thought this will be the move to push up now, to push the price up. Instead we get a bearish drop like this. Okay, structurally still in here. Okay, but this is pretty impulsively. So if it's going to develop something correctional structure here, you probably would expect price to continue falling downwards. Okay, if we zoom out, I still see this as pretty probable impulse correction. I'm waiting for a larger correction here to push the price up. So it might drop like this, but if I do get that first sign of bullish impulse, bullish reversal, still think the bullish move is more probable here. Okay, so let's move on to Dash. Did make a post on Dash here. I thought price will break off on the structure now, and then once it breaks out, looking for the continuation. Instead, we form this impulse, correction, impulse. So within this larger continuation correction for this move up, which is good. The more correction I see within a larger structure, like so, the better that this continuation correction will happen, and then we'll get that next move up. Okay, so happy to be sitting here. Just waiting to see what our price will do here from now on for the next coming days, and then see if I can get an entry like this. If not, if it continue goes lower, then no trade for me, and waiting to see if we get any more bullish momentums. That's Dash. Ethereum. Ethereum, remember last time or 2 days ago I mentioned this was the channel to buy. If we get a breakout, this is continuation correction for the buy. We pretty much retrace back now. So going down to lower time frame, be a little bit careful. This is a bearish push to the downside. It could form some sort of lower time frame continuation correction, and we could potentially bring the price down lower. Okay, so be careful if you're in the trade. Personally, I'm still in the trade from here, from the bottom here that I made a post from. Because we impulse up so much already, and I set my stop just below here, and if it's going to break right into this channel beer, I'll probably look to take profit from here. Still looking pretty good to secure this much profit. And why I want to take profit now, because we're approaching to this daily double top now. We're approaching to this daily top now. Price is not impulsively moving up now. We're forming potentially some sort of correction, potentially some sort of a structure here now. So I don't want to hold the trade through any kind of deeper correction. If it's going to go up, sure, it might form a deeper correction like this before it go up. But I don't want to lose potential profit like this. So that is just how I trade. That is how, at least in my trading plan, I don't want to see a trade that's in certain percentage of profit and it end up giving back quite a bit. Don't want to trade like that. Certainly, if you earn the profit, you're going to have rules, right? It's never going to be perfect. Obviously, you can have a rule saying I'm going to take profit at 3-to-1, sure, and then sometimes the trade ends up working out for you or continue going up to your favor. So your 3-to-1 exit, if you didn't exit, you might earn 5-to-1 now. But sometimes other times if you didn't set your profit 3-to-1, you hoping to get the 5-to-1, and price hit your 3-to-1 and then quickly reverse back down into just a 1%, right? So that's how trading is. Okay, you're never going to be the best enter or best exit. You're just trying to be consistent, and you're trying to have a rule in place, and you're trying to stick to your rules and strategies and plans and so on, right? It's never about trying to earn one big move. It's never about trying to earn one big move like that. You might catch one big move like that, and then that can earn a lot of profit, but that's not how trading is. You're never going to always going to get these kind of big moves like this. Okay, it's not going to happen all the time, right? And throughout times when the market is in a corrective structure nature, you're not going to get that kind of an impulse move, and your trade are usually going to end up, 1-to-1, 2-to-1, or a break even. Then you're going to have a little bit more strict risk management plan and a little bit more strict on your trading plan, so you know when to take profit, you know when uh, take a loss, right? Because taking loss is inevitable in trading. Let's go on to Ripple Bitcoin. Still just in this larger structure. Uh, Still looking to see what it will develop here in the upcoming days and week. Still want to see an upside, really. Still seeing this as very good from a structure point of view. We push to the upside now. We have a continuation correction. Can we get the next continued move up? Let's see what the Ripple to do. Ripple, very similar structure. We actually broke out that structure. I made a post here. We had an impulse, we had a correction, we had another impulse. Is this going to be another correction, something like this, to push the price up? Very likely, very likely. We're the longer and deeper this correctional structure to go, the higher probability that we can get that move. Right? This is the original move that I'm in. Move my stop to here already. I think it was somewhere here, I forgot. But if it's going to break lower like this, happy to earn my profit here and then move on. And if price push to the upside, I'll look for that continuation to go up. Similar continuation like this. Happy to take my profit and move on to the next trade. That is what I see on Ripple. This is Zcash. Someone asked me to update this one. I was actually looking for a buy opportunity here when the structure that I drew was something like this. As we know, structure evolves, and we're seeing a more of a parallel channel structure now, and still in this overall channel. So we're kind of hitting a bottom here. So looking to see if we're going to break out here and then continuation correction to move the price up. That is how I see on Zcash. And that is it. I think that's all. Yeah, that is all the crypto that I have on my watch list. So if you guys have anything else you want me to look at, I can look at it really quick. Or any other questions, any other comments, I'm happy to answer them as well in the upcoming bit. Yeah, I appreciate learning so much from you. Yeah, feel free to ask me questions if you have in the future. Euro dollar, sure. I'll go over euro dollar. I went over euro dollar, but I'll go over euro dollar again. So let's look at euro dollar. So I'm in euro dollar. This is the one trade I'm in. Made a post here yesterday or whatever. I forgot. So I'm looking at euro dollars at this. Overall, we're in this larger kind of a higher time frame structure. This structure is very, very corrective. We see every time price move up and down. Every time price is at the top, I'm always going to be looking for a sell setup because from a higher time frame perspective, this is daily now. This is a daily double top. This is looking at very like a small ascending type of channel structure and very reversal like that we can get the next down move. So that's why from the high time frame, so we go down to the 1 hour. I mentioned this was a recent double top in my post here, and we're getting this kind of ascending channel within this larger parallel channel, and looking for a downside, looking for a breakout would be ideal. So this is my trade. I will look for a breakout. This is the first kind of a lower time frame continuation correction that I see. So happy to be in this trade. Price move down very harsh now. So I won't just jump into the trade. This is what I mentioned. Looking for a larger correction here will be okay, but ultimately I want to see a breakout and then a larger structure to form here. This will be always going to be my go-to setup, and my best setup really to look for is that when I see a larger structure complete, when I see an impulse move, and then when I see a continuation correction to form outside that structure, and it's looking very clean, very clear that there is going to be a correction to be formed, and I will always look to add into the sell here, which my sell is from here. I'll always looking to add in this sell. This is how I scale into more sell opportunities. And then, of course, looking for the lows to the lows of the structure here. That is going to be my trade if I get to see that. Okay, so that is euro dollar. Bitcoin, sure. Yeah, I can go over Bitcoin. I didn't go over Bitcoin, I don't think. I want a Bitcoin Cash. That's why. Okay. So Bitcoin. Um, this is what I see on Bitcoin because we're potentially at this recent double top now. Okay, the price is at this recent double top. We're in this kind of structure here. This structure on the intraday chart is a little bit hard to determine. Okay, this could classify or you can categorize as a bullish impulse correction. This is an impulse. This is a correction. We're getting another impulse. Or you can see it as that we're reaching this daily double top now and price is correctly forming here. This could be a reversal kind of a potential structure. So a little bit hard to tell because the structure is not finished. Right? This is the key. Structure will be finished if we see certain breakout or see certain thing. This can be, see, doesn't matter how I draw the line because someone can draw the line like this and they can easily think, oh, this is an impulse, this is a triangle, and then this is the next move up, right? So the lines are not going to be irrelevant. The lines is just there to kind of frame what the structure is doing. But ultimately, what I want to see from Bitcoin is if I'm going to be long, because my long was from this bottom here. It's just same thing Ethereum. I was in this long from here, I remember. So moving my stop just below here. Looking for continuation, then I will be looking for a continuation, solely breaking out of this highs here and then looking for a continuation to go up. Otherwise, I would not be interested to buy in this area. I'll look for that breakout from the structure and lower time frame continuation to continue up. If someone's looking for the short, then yeah, break out this low and then continuation short correction here to the low. Sure, I think that's also reasonable. Then in that sense, then I will exit. That will hit my stop loss and I'll be in profit and I'll look for a potential buy from the bottom. I won't be looking for the short here because ultimately I still see Bitcoin as going up. Still see higher time frame wise. This could form something deeper correction like something like this, but we're still looking for the upside. Because structurally, I still see this. This was from the COVID drop, right? Instead of a correction here to go lower, we didn't get that. Instead, we get a impulse, we got a correction, we got another impulse, and if this is going to be a deeper correction, then I'm looking for the next impulse. Okay, that is what I see on Bitcoin. Okay. Anything else you guys want me to look at? Can you go over gold? I can go over gold, yeah. I went over gold, but I'll go over gold again because it seems to be always what everyone's looking at. So gold, again, my bias for gold is short. I'm looking for a short. I'm looking for a sell because I'm looking for a strengthened dollar, right? So my bias is based on price action. This is a impulse. This is a correctional structure. We had another impulse down, and we're just building into a larger kind of a continuation structure now. Okay, the structure is looking pretty good. It's an expanding kind of structure. If we go down to the intraday charts, I like how this was the impulse. We didn't really get a continuation correction. Instead, we get a head and shoulder pattern. This is the left head, right shoulder for the drop. This is the right shoulder. This is also a corrective structure for this bearish push, and then we do get more bearish kind of momentum. So how do I see this? I mentioned in the beginning, because this is in the middle now, this is in the middle of this correction. I won't jump into this trade. I would want to see price continue going down. If we can break out this structure, break out the lows here, then I think a correction here would be more ideal for the downside. So impulse correction, impulse. That's what I see on gold. Pound dollar, yeah, I went over pound dollar as well. Yeah, sorry, because I usually go over currency right in the beginning. If you're like joining me late, you won't see, you'll miss most of that, but it's okay. So pound dollar, let me go over that. So pound dollar made a post from here. If we zoom out on a higher time frame, we're pretty much at this daily double top, and then if we go down to intraday charts. Intraday charts, it's very clean. We had this larger structure that we're in here. And within this larger structure, price has been consolidating in this region, kind of a parallel kind of structure as well. Going down to the 1 hour chart, we have this kind of ascending channel formation, pushing the price up very correctively. And then, like I said in the post, Look for a first impulse. Looking for that first correction is always going to be the best setup. So there was a correction here. Going down to the 15-minute. This is a clear correction from this impulse. In that impulse, I mentioned impulse out of that correction, impulse out of that channel correction, and then looking for the first lower time frame continuation. So this is definitely a valid sell that I would have been into. Personally, I'm in euro dollar, and that's why I'm not in this one. But I do think that is a valid sell. Do think this push is pretty good. We bounced up a little bit, so wait to see what will happen to do here. Ultimately, still looking this trade to go down to the lows here, to the lows of this higher time frame structure. This is a trade I don't want to miss. So if there's going to be a better setup here after this drop, I will consider that versus a couple other dollar pairs I'm looking at. Okay, so that is pound dollar. Anything else you guys want me to look at, or any other questions before we end the stream? I appreciate a lot of people's feedback. I really do. I have a lot of people appreciate private message me about all these streams I'm doing or all the videos I'm doing. Definitely appreciate the overwhelming feedback from everyone. Obviously, doing this for as a hobby or as something that I want to do, this will help me to be a better trader and potentially passing down good information, hopefully to everyone. So very happy to get a lot of positive feedback from everyone. So I appreciate all that. Thank you very much. AMD, sure. Is this the one advanced micro device? Okay. So first time looking at this. Tell you the truth, I personally won't jump in the trade now. Just because I'm looking at in terms of price action. Looking at this at the daily, right? This is the correction. So if you're not in this correction, we already impulse up pretty high, right? So just like how I always say, don't jump in the trade if it's already impulse so much already. Probably going to form a correction here before the buy. Preferably forming a little bit bigger correction like this because this is pretty strong move. Consider what the price has been doing in the past. Okay, so when you see something like this, same thing as that Tesla, same thing with Apple, same thing with what other stock I mentioned. Yeah, all those ones waiting for a larger structure to build up here would be the more ideal. Okay, I won't just jump into any small correction here. That is what I see on AMD. Yeah, I can take a look at those. Uh, this is Viva, right? Okay. Uh, yeah, similarly, really. This is already a correction here, correcting this move, right? We have a large correction here. We pushed the price up already, and we really haven't have a larger structure that's grading. You can consider this is a correction structure, but to me, it's not. Just strictly from a higher time frame perspective, I want to wait for a little bit corrective structure here for the buy. Otherwise, that won't be too interesting. It's just that I see this kind of move over and over again, and I see the price pull back over and over again before the next buy. Right? It's similar. Like when you look at price like this, when you see a bullish push like this, when people get into the buy like this, they're just going to be stopping out. It's just going to be corrected for a really long time, and then building up that corrective structure for the next buy. So I really will be a little bit more cautious on this one, just because it has already moved so much. Okay, GLD. You're talking about gold, right? I went over gold already. So I'll just. This is not the one I look at, but I look at from a CFD point of view. So, but very similar, nothing changes, but I'm looking for more downside. Okay, so I'll go over gold one more time. Really just looking for more downside, looking for this expanding structure to finish. We have this head and shoulder pattern I like. I have this right shoulder kind of a correction, bearish impulse, correction, bearish price, push down once more. Is it going to form a correction here? Not too interested until I see a breakout and then look for a correction here. That's what I see on gold. Okay. That is it, guys. Anything else? And I thought I answered a question here. Someone asked me this. I'll say in the stream. Someone asked me about how do I look at all the market? Is it overwhelming? What's your daily routine? I'll do that right now. I thought it's a very good thing to go over. Personally, because I look at the market all the time, every day, I look at the market at least 4 or 5 times a day. At least I will try to be in all the I'll try to be in all the major sessions. Okay, so the major session, like obviously this is the Asia session right now. I will be the Asia session. I will be try to hit the beginning of London session, and then I will wake up for the New York session because I live in Vancouver, Canada. I live in West Coast, so right now for me is 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so I can hit the Asia session no problem. For the London session, it's about 12 p.m., 1 a.m. at night for me, so I can be there for the beginning. And the New York session is 6 a.m. for me. So really, I can theoretically I can hit all 3 sessions if I want to. I usually do. I usually sleep probably 6 hours a day, but I can hit Asia session, I can hit London session and New York session, and I'll definitely scan the markets in those session time, and then in between I can look at them. I'll take a look at the charts. I'll take a look at the market and things like that. So that is what I do on a regular level. And the question says is how long do you go through? Really, it doesn't take me long because I do a weekly outlook, right? I do my weekly outlook at the beginning of the week, so I already know. This is why I use trading all these color things, right? I already know what I'm looking at. I already know what markets and what instruments, what I'm looking at. I already know which one I want to see. I already made my forecast. I already made my analysis. So I know exactly what I'm looking at. So during the day, during those 4 to 5 scans per day, I really don't take long. I can take as quick as 10, 15 minutes to scan through all the charts. It doesn't take me long to just go through like this, to click through like this, right? I already know in my head. This is why doing the forecasting is so important, or using the drawing tools or whatever. I already know when I scan through, let's say Kiwi dollar, I already know I'm waiting for this breakout, lower time frame to go down. If it doesn't happen, skip it right away. Euro dollar, when I'm looking, waiting for a breakout, looking for lower time frame. It doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. Moving on to other ones, dollar Swiss. Oh, it broke out now, so waiting for a correction here. Then set my alarm accordingly. That is how fast I can go through scanning the chart and things like that, and then just going through them. And because I look at the market every day, I look at the charts every day, it doesn't take me too long. But it might take you longer because you're in the beginning of trading, right? So it's definitely going to take more time and more effort to look at the chart. Sometimes it's overwhelming, right? But when you look at the charts and stuff like that, it's overwhelming. I understand that. But it's just something, there's no quick ways to get around it. You just have to put in the time and effort. There's no such thing. That what I said in my last video was like, there's no holy grail in trading. There's no thing like you just pay money to someone and you suddenly know how to trade. Like that's the honest opinion. I'm sorry to say it to a lot of people. There's no quick and easy way in this industry. There's no such thing as I learned this from this person and then in 3 months I'm like an expert. Really, honestly, there's no. If you don't have prior knowledge, you don't have prior financial background, you don't understand trading as a whole, market as a whole, you're not sure what trading plan is, risk management, psychologically. There's a lot of trading psychology as well, right? Those are very important. If you're not understand those, the trading is not going to be easy, and it's actually going to be the worst thing, the stressful thing that people can do in their life. I personally been through it because so it's so stressful. You've been through something like that, it's very stressful. If someone has never been through an up and down, a roller coaster ride in trading, everybody experience it, right? Everybody experience it differently. Some people take a much shorter time to get out of that. Other people take a longer time, right? And there's no right and wrong in that sense. Some people learn faster. Some people acknowledge their mistakes. Some people understand that that they made the mistake. They're the one who overtrade. They're the one who risk more, and they change that. Well, there's other traders who take longer to understand that because they don't look at themselves. They're like, oh, is it my strategy is wrong? Is it the market, right? You know, there's no point to blame others. There's no point to blame the market, blame the broker, or blame your strategies. If anything, you should blame yourself, right? Because you're the one who execute that trade, knowing that uh, no strategy is 100% strike rate. No strategy is going to 100% give you that trade and goes to your profit. No trades are like that. No strategies are like that. So when you enter a trade, you do your journal, and you reflect on it. Is it your strategy that's issue, or is it you as a trader who execute that trade and that was the issue, right? That's something you really need to take time and look into, and then become and pretty much learn from it. You know, understand your mistake, move on from it, and then be better from it. That is it, right? That is how I see trading. Okay, and this is going off a little bit off topic, but 4 or 5 times a day when I scan the market, I can take as quick as 15 minutes to scan through all 4 major markets. I look at the currency market, I look at the commodities market, I look at the equity market, mostly US equity, mostly just US kind of blue chip stocks. I don't day trade stocks, just like I don't day trade crypto, which is the 4th market I look at. I don't day trade them. I usually swing trade all the equities, meaning I'm holding the trade for a long term, waiting to take a bigger stop loss, willing to hold the equities, willing to hold them as a investment. Whereas trading, usually day trading or hybrid trading currencies, within a couple of days, I'll look for profit and things like that. That is how I trade different markets and differently. So what's a good website for buy and sell? Like what market? If you're asking me personally, like broker, if that's probably what you meant. Broker for currency, I use Oanda. Crypto, I use Coinbase, and equities and things like that, I use my web broker, which is with my local bank. I'm from Canada. It's TD Canada Trust. They allow you to buy stocks and things like that. I didn't go to a stockbroker like a typical retail stockbroker kind of broker, because it's easy for me to transfer money from my bank account to a web broker, which is associated with them. So, and because also I'm not day trading stock, I'm not worried about commissions. I'm holding the stocks for long term. So I'd rather use my local bank and their equity firm to do that. How do I know what levels to trade? I don't really trade levels. If you're talking about support resistance, I'm trading solely on price action structures. As always, I'm looking for the next impulse. That is how I trade. So I'm looking for structurally price action line to give me more confirmation. So I don't look at levels, if that's what you meant. Okay, so that is it, guys. If there's no other questions, happy to end the stream here. As always, if there's other things that you're looking at, you can feel free to post here and I can take a look. If not, thank you everyone for tuning to this daily outlook. I will do a weekly outlook next week, so make sure you tune into that weekly outlook. I can go over more things in detail. Robinhood, yeah, I think so. I don't think Robinhood did anything wrong. Of course, because there was an infamous news with Robinhood, right? I'm sure you hear. I don't know if you're from US, because apparently some kid traded on Robinhood and then he killed himself or whatever, right? I'm not here to speculate all that, but Robinhood, in my opinion, is okay. Okay, I think the person over leverage or over trade or whatever, that's a different story. But in terms of broker, I think they're fine. Okay, I think Thinkorswim is also fine if you ask me in terms of stockbrokers. I don't use neither of them. Okay, so don't quote me on that, but I obviously do research on my own. Okay, so that is it, guys. Thank you very much for tuning to this one. Like I said, I'll make the weekly outlook on Sunday afternoon for my time, so probably feel free to tune into that one. I'll go over more detail on the upcoming week. All right. Thank you very much and have a nice rest of the week, guys. Thank you.